Listener discretion is advised.
Sexy guys having a threesome.
Being addicted like pornography.
And drinking a lot and hooking up with random guys.
Micah and Dr. Drew. Loveline.
Loveline is on now. Hey, it's Loveline. I'm Dr. Drew, and of course, you all know Stryker is away for this week. He's left me alone in charge of the goods here. A little breath of fresh air. And joining me tonight is Nikki Sixx. Nikki, how are you?
Hey, how you doing, man?
It's been a little while.
It has been a while.
And you all know Nikki Sixx, of course, from Motley Crue. He was the founding member, and he now has a new book called The Heroin Diaries.
Yep.
And I saw him on TV a couple nights ago trying to talk about this, but you were on a comedy show, so you couldn't quite get it out.
Kind of hard to get the message across.
Are you on a tour discussing this topic?
Well, the book comes out September 18th, and the album, which is coming out on Tuesday, which is a soundtrack to the book, and we scored the music. And even though it's a rock record, but it's also very it's a concept rock record, but it has a lot of theater to it.
6 a.m. it's called, right?
Yes, the band is 6 a.m. and it's a Heroin Diaries soundtrack. And it was interesting to have the actual book, and for DJ Ashva, who's the guitar player, and James Michael, the lead singer, and we're all producers and songwriters, to sit down together and tell the story like a Quadrophenia, or tell the story.
Oh,
like
wow, interesting.
Yeah, so it was very freeing as an artist.
And was everybody around during those days?
Neither of those guys were around during those days, but they had the book.
And now, if I understand right, the book is diary excerpts from the time when you were most deeply in your disease, yes?
Yeah, correct.
And then some commentary about the recovery?
Yeah, well, the way we put it together was the actual diaries, Christmas morning 86 to Christmas morning 87. That was
the height of Motley Crue's...
one of. I mean, we actually
right.
when I got clean, the whole band got clean. We did Dr. Feelgood and even got bigger.
Clean.
Wow. The whole band was clean for a while. So,
you have the stories. I'm remembering last time I talked to you of intravenously injecting alcohol. Wasn't that you?
Yeah.
Just because you figured what's quicker. It's
well,
just reasoned it up.
We were high on coke,
right.
And we ran out of we didn't have much to drink. Any much left. I think there was only a couple capsules.
So you need to maximize the effect.
I mean, but you think you're invincible when you're younger and
you're loaded.
And you're loaded, and that gives you that false sense of
invincibility.
Yeah, right, exactly.
That's cool. Now, Nikki was Nikki's somewhat of a phantom. He was declared dead twice, and once apparently completely dead. Like when they were putting the sheet over him, somebody in the last second. It looks to me, as I sort of pieced together what happened to him, shoved an epinephrine needle through his chest wall into his left ventricle and injected him with a bunch of epinephrine, and that brought him around, at least brought him around enough that he can still be with us here today. Yeah. But a story I did not heard is that following an overdose in London, when was this? Seizure.
That would have been in 85.
85 seizes, and so the wise dealer starts to beat him over the head with a bat to try to get him to stop seizing.
It was over
nice.
It was the body.
Oh, okay, good.
Thing.
Oh, yeah, stop seizing already.
But you know how they do it. They do the ice down the pants to bring you back. I mean, it's like it's gutter doctors.
It's incredible.
No, it's really bizarre, because you say you twice, but any drug addict that I know that you've heard a story about them, or in my case, this story, there's many times where I had seizures, many times where I, went down and then just, came out of it, or, somebody else brought me out of it. So it's part of it's what you get if you want to play around in that arena.
Yeah, you get death.
You get death. I mean, it is the end destination point, and that's why I wanted to write this book, is I wanted to share my experience. It was really important in putting the book together to not just have the diaries, because it'd be very easy to go, here's my diaries, I was depressed, I was on drugs, I was on alcohol, I was a multimillionaire, we had all the nice cars, we crashed all the nice cars, we broke all the hearts, woe is me, and do a little fluff piece and pocket all the money. So I said, what can we do different with this? And we got everybody in the band, ex-managers, ex-girlfriends, people that were right up close, guys like Slash, my mother.
To write chapters?
To be interviewed.
Wow.
And with really honest commentary on certain areas of the book.
So you would be having a diary excerpt, and then we could read what other people were observing and
Right.
experiencing
So I'd be in the
around you.
studio. I'm
Whoa.
writing down my truth, which
Yeah.
was a lie.
And distorted, yeah.
And then comes Vince saying, this is what he was like. And then
Mom.
someone else to say,
Mom saying I was scared. S-less.
I was scared. And, none of it was my fault. And my grandfather saying none of it was his fault. And everybody,
Wow.
no one wants to take responsibility. And the managers are saying, we couldn't stop him. But then I'm able to come back in and go, what part of this is enabling?
All of it?
All of it, yeah.
Yeah.
So for my recovery, it was amazing, and I'm hoping that a person that reads this is going to be able to, and then of course I wrote the overview story of the whole thing, and I actually get to peel the onion and go back to my real childhood and really deal with some stuff.
The trauma.
Yeah, which is where the addiction starts. But if someone reads this, I think that they're going to get a very clear picture, for whatever reason they want to read it, of addiction.
How it works.
And how it works, and without being preachy.
Cool. There's a MySpace. It's /Heroin Diaries, no spaces, Heroin Diaries, at myspace.com. And the phone number here is 1-800-LOVE-191. Helio members type LOVE, love, then hit jump on your Helio. And let's take a quick call for Nikki. Alicia.
Yes.
Hey there.
Hi.
You're on with Nikki Sixx.
Awesome.
What's up?
First, could I say something real quick before I ask my question?
Yep.
Of course.
Okay. I wanted to say that I really, really admire you as an artist, and I think that what you have done with the Heroin Diaries is such a selfless and courageous thing. What I wanted to know was, are you going to be doing a book signing tour for the book?
We are planning that right now. I know right around the beginning of the book coming out, which I think comes out on the 18th of September. So I think right around then I'm going to do a book signing at a Barnes & Noble here in Los Angeles. And we got like a Chicago, a Detroit, a New York being planned. So we'll be doing a few.
Okay, let's get to more of the Loveline material here. D, what's up, D?
How's it going?
Hey, D is a male?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what's up?
Oh, well, my girlfriend, someone I'm seeing, was molested by her uncle
Good times.
when she was 14, and they actually still live together, and she's 21 now, and since that time she's actually forgotten about, well, she kind of like
Blocks it out.
blocked it out of her mind.
That's not unusual.
Right.
Yeah.
And it
I'm
really,
kinda-
it's kind of a denial they go into. It's not like she doesn't remember it. It's just she sort of puts it in the back and says, well, I've dealt with that, and doesn't realize living with a perpetrator is horrible.
Yeah.
Not okay.
Well, that's the thing. I kind of wanted to bring it to the light. I wanted to push her to maybe tell her parents or
Well,
confront him or...
well, hey,
what
here's
are the options
listen.
I could actually
Here's
do?
the deal, D. I will tell you that generally speaking, confronting the perpetrators is a very, I don't know if you had any this kind of experience, but it's a very unsatisfying experience, usually.
It's not a vigilante thing. You're not going to come in and save the day.
Right. You don't change anything. They're going to deny it. Her parents undoubtedly have a big system of denial because it's somebody's brother, and they're not going to want to hear
she
it.
might even deny it too,
Yeah.
which is going to be a whole other issue, right?
Absolutely. So the most important thing, D, is get her out of there. That's
Get her out
that's
of there.
job one. Away from the perpetrator. Beyond that, you're not her therapist. Get her to somebody who can help her with this. Urge her to see that it's not normal. It's a real serious thing. It's affecting her, even though she may not be aware of how. You must have had this whole kind of thing.
Well, I mean,
So
I've
common.
had friends, and I've even had a girlfriend that had been molested when she was real young, and she didn't want to deal with it. I mean, at times it would come. Well, she thinks she was,
Right,
and then
right.
other times the truth would come out, and she was, and then she would deny it. And what I know is that in this person's situation, she got very unhappy, very depressed, and she didn't know why. But the bottom line is, anything that happens when you're that young, it's going to come back on you until you deal with it.
Yeah, it affects how your brain develops. It just leaves an
Yeah.
imprint on your
Yeah.
brain. And you may have thought you've dealt with it, but I promise you have not.
Yeah.